Hey guys, and welcome to a new What If here. Today we are doing What If Kurama had a baby. So, yeah, I know I've done several spin-offs of, say, like Kurama having a child, though Matabi being the one to conceive it. But no, this one is going to be different. Which it doesn't say, though the picture does imply that yes, there is a female Kurama. So Kurama, instead of being male like in canon, is female, and so will her child, which will be her child will be what is replacing Naruto. So, yes. Anyway, so let's get into this. So, Kurama and Kushina being obviously the Jinchuriki, the second Jinchuriki of the Ninth House, would her and Kurama would actually have a very good relationship, friendship, and though after the war and even through it, Kushina hadn't developed any, feelings towards Minto, but Kurama did. Kurama had fell in love with Minto, though she somewhat didn't want to follow through with them due to the fact she's an immortal nine-tailed fox, or kitsune, because when she's been born, Kurama said 6 paths had imagined a creature with 9 tails being a kitsune. So yeah, though all kitsunes are born as a fox, so yeah, she's pretty much the only one that has a human form. Though her sister, the Two Tails, had eventually managed to develop a way to enter a humanoid form, but the others pretty much didn't have no human form. So yes. Anyway, and Kushina told her that, would tell her, Kurama, you may be an immortal nine-tailed fox, but you may only experience this attraction for him once. You may only ever love a person. You may only find love once, so I would suggest taking it up. Though I know you'd have to somewhat use my body, but you should at least try it. But no buts, Kurama. You love him, and I'm willing to spend time in my own mind with you in control dating Minato. But you must at least tell him after a while who he really is loving. Kurama would try and argue, but Kushina would be too stubborn, and Kurama would finally give up and give it a try. And of course the war had broken out, and after the war, Minato had wanted to settle down with her. Though this was the time when Kurama would tell him, Kushina and Kurama would tell him that he'd in fact had fallen in love with the nine-tailed fox, and not her, though Minato was going to try and argue, but Kushina had straight up told him that she'd never had feelings for him, and that sure, he's a good friend and all, but like anything he'd find out about on like them on dates was not hers but Kuruma's, and he was kind of surprised and well, she would switch with Kurama, and Kurama would, well, be the one in control now, and Minto would then realise as Kurama would speak to him, if you don't want to date me anymore, if you don't want to do anything more and just separate, then it's fine, but yeah, at least to tell you this and that, I did and do truly love you, Minto. I really do love you. And Minto would go wide-eyed, and he would think for a couple of seconds, weighing his odds, and then sort of shrug and go, well, if you're willing to try, then I guess I'm willing to try and also somehow work this relationship out with you, Kurama. Nod, and Kurama would somewhat just, well, out of impulse would just hug him, and well, yeah, and of course he'd know that, well, at least him and Kurama never did it or hadn't done it yet, because obviously the body was Kushina's, and Kurama didn't want to go do anything that could get Kushina pregnant, and Kushina somewhat was, well, only happy that she'd thought that much and just didn't go, head first into it, and then somewhat realised that it wouldn't be of a child. And when Kurama, simply just had it, when Kurama's birthday came around, which was the birthday of all nine-tailed beasts, Kushina would ask her something, and she'd go, hey, Kurama, yeah, Kushina, what is it? I was wondering, what's the one gift, what's the one present, the one thing you've always wanted? Kurama didn't even have to think, I should say, a baby, a child to call my own, a child of my own. And Kushina would think about it for a couple of songs, so I should go, is say that a possible way to somewhat, say, change what, however she, one of the eggs in me to, yours, so that when you do it, instead of, say, me being the mother of the child between you and Minto, it would be of his DNA, his stuff, and yours. Can we go, yeah, that is, it's, yeah, it's called DNA, and yeah, I can rewrite an egg I can rewrite one of your human eggs to my DNA, so that when it does get fertilized and starts forming a child, the child would be between mine and Minato's DNA. But are you sure this would be, our first time, and you'd pretty much never get the person you'd possibly ever want? And Shango, it doesn't matter. To somewhat be honest, I'd rather you be happy, Kurama. And yeah, and so, a month after that, she done it because, they done it, and though Kushina did pretty much throw down some ground rules that Kurama would pretty much have to go through the entire process from once he recognises that and senses that she's pregnant all the way to pushing the child out. She would have to deal with all of that. Kurama had shrugged and said fine, but though she did somewhat obviously ask, but what are you going to do in the meantime? You'd pretty much be locked out of your body 24/7. Kushina somewhat shrugged and said, well, I don't know, but I'll probably find something to do. And and so 9 months would go by as the 9 times attack would happen. So in the year and day pretty much Naruto was born would be the same for little Ruby Kitsune. Kurama would have just given birth to her. As a masked man would then appear, though thankfully Tsunade was the one that actually delivered the child, and as such had managed to get away quickly, as Minto had immediately teleported Tsunade and the baby to the safe, Tsunade and his and Kurama's child to the safe house. And the masked man would then rip Kurama out of Kushina and wouldn't really care much for Kushina after that, and would put Kurama then under a genjutsu, and sensing where the child and Minto was would tell the 9 Tails to attack that place, but the funny thing, she wouldn't move. Why? Well, because sure, the genjutsu worked to control her, as in her conscious mind, but it could never penetrate her subconscious and her unconscious mind. Unconscious mind would always prioritise protecting her own child over anything else. As such, even if she's not in control of herself, her mind will protect her own child and will not kill it for any type of revenge or anything like that. So, Maskman would somewhat be annoyed and would then just somewhat send it to Konoha and do mess there. Though before any of this happened and during the war, when pretty much the third had found out, or at least Kushina had told the third, and Kushina and Kurama somewhat switching parts would tell Hiruzen, and somewhat Hiruzen a while years later actually when Kurama / Kushina was pregnant, Kurama being pregnant with her own child. Kushina's body, Kurama's somewhat mind, Kurama would be in control with her own child. And means I would ask, say if something were to ever happen and you'd have to be safe and you were sealed inside your own child, is there any place that you could go that would let you be there by your child's side? Can think for a couple of minutes and go, yes, I believe the Kitsune world, the Kitsune summoning world, I can somewhat make a somewhat some temporary contract that will allow you to summon one kitsune that's say a messenger, which say if that were to happen, which could communicate between you and I. And yeah, though I'd hope to somewhat at least say have a if my child has any interest in becoming a ninja, hope when she's either maybe say 12 to come and like you can should go through the same gaining exams as everyone else, and well, yeah, who's would just I would say sure, there's no problem with that, though he'd pretty much be the one to train her in the possible ninja arts. Though, and Kurama had said that's fine, like our 3 kitsunes are very, very good at, say, aspects of a ninja, even more so than you humans, so you don't have to worry there. Person would just somewhat nod, though not 100% sure what she meant by that. And well, yeah, I mean, though Husen would somewhat come out feeling the like Nine-Tails chakra, and he'd be confused, like, did Kushina lose it? Did like give him birth? Like destroy the cell? And was she now free? Though when he looked up, he saw the Sharingan in her eyes, and immediately knew the Nine-Tails was under control by a new Uchiha. He immediately had, well, he had the more younger Anbu that weren't that experienced to go look through the entire Uchiha clan and look for the Uchiha that was controlling the Nine-Tails, and well, and where the heck was the 4th? As he was, yeah. Though when he said that, the 4th Hokage, Minto, had appeared beside him and had told him that a masked man had appeared and had tried to kidnap his and Kurama's, their newborn child. Went wide-eyed and said, so we've got a bigger issue than that. I believe that masked man is possibly the one under, obviously, I just mean to, well, it then go away and would look around and would see Kurama and then see the eyes and would somewhat curse and would go immediately back out into fighting. Though Husen would somewhat follow him, and while the somewhat Nine-Tails attack would continue up until the ceiling part. Kushina through the entire thing had not been seen. They'd guessed that she died, but like she wasn't even at the place on where it Kurama was ripped out of her. It was confusing. Though they had ran somewhat deep into the forest, and she'd suppressed her chakra once she was back in control of herself, and suppressed her chakra to pretty much near zero, only enough for Minato to somewhat track her, or at least for the somewhat for the flying Raijin mark to actually activate, because if she did suppress her chakra to zero, Minato wouldn't actually be able to teleport to her. It was somewhat the one on her which he'd, well, it was somewhat of an odd way of doing it, but he did manage to get a flying hygiene mark on Kurama. Yeah, just in case, say, Kushina did ever die and Kurama had reformed. Because, well, yeah, that he could possibly somehow, after 9-10 years, could reunite her with a child if, yeah. Anyway, so, yeah, Minato, though, Kurama would also summon, would go through the summoning, the hand signs for the summoning jutsu, and would summon, though minus the biting, needing to draw blood. Yeah, if you're, you don't have to, if you're of the race, obviously. This is her, a maid would go, mistress, you called? Would nod and would somewhat explain, as those who'd somewhat, the maid somewhat glared at at least the two humans' presence, being, one being Minato, the other being, Hiruzen. Though she'd be confused on the baby, she could feel that human's shock, like a familiar presence of both that human and her own mistress, though Kurama, seeing a somewhat confused look, would confirm, yes, that is my child, and would explain how she made it possible, and that, yes, that was her husband, who was possibly going to be dead soon. Obviously, Hiruzen was ready to do the Reaper Death Seal, but with his old age, he wouldn't be able to actually, even with Kurama being willingly, he wouldn't be able to, the Shinigami wouldn't be able to muster enough force to actually, seal all of Kurama inside of, the baby, so Minato sadly would be the one to do it. Though he'd put some safeguards in place just in case, though they'd only activate in case she lost control, she'd get completely angry or say in the future or something else, but yeah. And he'd after that, the maid would hold the child steady, and in a way that the Shinigami could very much throw the chakra not into the maid but into the child, the baby, and and after 5 minutes of going through hand signs, Minato would yell out the name of, would yell out the jutsu, the jutsu would then activate as the Shinigami would appear, as Minato would will it to seal the Nine Tails Kurama inside of that child, Ruby Kitsune. Minato would, though before he'd say, just as the Reaper's hand would grab onto Kurama, he'd say, I will always love you, Kurama, no matter what happens. I will forever love you. And she'd somewhat have a tear run down her face as she'd say, I will always love you too. I will always love you too, my Minato. Minato, as she would then be sealed, all of her inside of her child, and after that, Minato would then, Huzun would immediately hand him a giant scroll, empty scroll, as Minato would then proceed to write down the, would then would force the Shinigami to write the key for the seal there, on the giant scroll. And after that was, after the Shinigami had done that, and then not the Shinigami then pretty much eat his soul, though, as Minto's pretty much dying wish would, Minto somewhat collapse and would go, you may not like me, but please keep this safe. This is the key for the seal. If she ever loses control of her mother's chakra, you can always use this to rebuild the seal and to loosen it. And the maid would just nod and would take the seal, as he'd say, please just look after her and treat her like she's one of your own. She would say, don't worry, I will. I think all of the kitsunes will. He'd just nod as he would have a smile on his face as he would die. Kurama would wake up a minute later and would just be crying. So she could talk to her child, though. Well, yeah, there was a connection obviously there that she could, but her child wouldn't know anything. Wouldn't know what's going on or anything. So she's somewhat just crying there. I'd cut the link, and her was just crying. Because, and 2 hours later, once the seal had stabilized, the Kitsune summoning mode would do its trick with the seal. Would do its trick, and she'd could feel something odd, and she'd open her eyes and would realise that she was, the Kitsune maiden had put Kurama in, put the child in Kurama's bed. Once Minto had died, the thread had said that apparently it would take 2 hours. It would take 2 hours for the seal to stabilise, and after 2 hours, Kurama should appear in the kitchen mode, and that's why she was holding the baby. She just nodded and after could remember that and would immediately look for a child. After finding her baby, she would immediately just cuddle it, would go to it and hold it, and she'd just start crying again. The maid's hearing a crying would burst through the door, thinking the baby was either was hungry, not thirsty, hungry. But they would blink and go, mistress, glad that you're here. And she'd just keep on crying for a while. The head maid would arrive a second later and would pretty much drag all the other maids out and would tell them pretty much what had happened. They would be surprised, shocked and saddened. Yeah. And so, well, and after that, 3 years would go by as Ruby Kitsune would grow up inside the mansion inside the mansion in the kitchen summoning world. Kurama was of course the queen, meaning that little Ruby Kitsune was pretty much a princess. And Kurama, that she was 3 would tell her, and it just finished telling her pretty much everything, how she was created, and that she was a tailed beast and other stuff, and that her father was a human and was a human ninja, and would explain what a ninja was. But when she'd ask what a human was, she would say a human is, say, like us dear, but without the ears and tails. Ruby, when she turned 1 year old, her kitchen chakra had pretty much taken full force. Her human chakra was pretty much sitting on the sidelines, which was somewhat understandable to Kurama, as kitchens always had a pretty much just they never had to say awaken, pretty much make that connection to their chakra. They somewhat had it since birth. As such, her kitchen chakra had pretty much come to the forefront, meaning that she was pretty much always in her kitchen form, and she'd never actually used or had entered a human form. Yeah, and the background colour, which is a light violet colour, that's the colour of her eyes and hair, and her tails. Tails would be, she'd only have 4 tails. She'd only have 4 tails. 4 4 light violet tails, with the tip of her tail being tipped white. Though, with all other kitsunes, pretty much tails, like their tips, were all tipped white. Kurama being a tailed beast, would have a full red tail. Yeah. Her eyes were a slightly darker violet, but overall her hair and her eyes and tail would match in the violet colour somewhat. And she'd go mum, as she was sitting in Kurama's lap, and she's going to go, yes, my little princess, what is it? Did you love Dad? Yes, of course I loved him. I loved him so much, sweetie. Why do you ask that? Well, if you two loved each other, why did he, somehow put you inside of me? She'd go, that's that's kind of complicated. It's because, say the human world, because I'm a tailed beast, they are afraid of me, sweetie. and he had known one day that that people would say possibly come and say seal me away, and so he had sacrificed his life to seal me inside of you. And so if I were to get rid of those mean people, could I then let you out? She'd go, I'm sorry, sweetie, unless, well, there will always be bad people after me and the other, and, well, like your aunts and uncles, there will always be people after us. It is somewhat better that we're sealed, but, well, yeah, some people obviously take us for granted. And she'd go, I would never do that, Mum. Come on, I know, sweetie. You have your own chakra, which is just as powerful, maybe, well, just maybe more powerful than mine itself. She'd go, really? You think so? Yes, of course. You have a chakra unlike no one else's. It's neither Tailed Beast chakra nor Heman or any other chakra out there. It's unique. It's one of a kind, you could say. And as such, because out there in the world, ninjas have come up with ways to say suppress chakra, and they can even work with my own chakra as well. So pretty much if you do want to become a ninja, well, you'd start your training when you turn 6, and when you turn 12, one of my maids will with us summon us to a human village called the Hidden Leaf. That was what your dad was the leader of. He was the leader of the Hidden Leaf village. He was what's called a Kage. He was the Hokage, the strongest one at that. Not just the strongest, but the fastest man alive. It's like he was the fastest. Yes, he could. What's known today as, well, he could teleport. He had a jutsu that allowed him to teleport between 2 points. Whoa, that's awesome. Could I do that? Go and check and go, well, of course, sweetie, though you'd have to learn Funjutsu first. What is Fuinjutsu? What's that? It's a unique branch. There's Genjutsu, which is illusions. There's Taijutsu, hand to hand, and Ninjutsu, which more than likely uses elemental jutsu, and then and in that branch of ninjutsu is elemental jutsu. And then there is Fuinjutsu. Fuinjutsu is what most people would call sealing, the art of sealing, though you could do more than it. You could do anything, like your father. He could teleport between 2 points, and as such he was known as the Yellow Flash of the Hidden Leaf Village, because any time he'd use it, there would always be yellow flash and that's why he was named the fastest person alive. And she'd carry on talking about the achievements of, say, she'd just talk about Minato, because though she would she'd also tell Ruby her father's name, but would also warn her to never tell anyone, and that due to the fact that if they find out that she is the child, there's gonna be a lot of people after her. Ruby though would just nod, and she'd go, I think that's at least enough for today, and I think you should say go outside. I can actually go outside now. It's like, yes, sweetie. Reason why I somewhat didn't want you going out for at least the first 3 years was somewhat because I hoped that obviously your ears and tails, like, your kitchen chakra would possibly take a hold, or even train you to use it so that you could, say, look like the other kids your age, the other kids your age. So you just nod and would be happy though. And she'd go, come on then, let's go outside then. We would jump up and they would have fun. Kurama would somewhat have a bit. Would have fun. Showing a child around, a little baby around. There's many people, of course, would bow to them and would say how cute she looks, and that. And it was then another 3 years would pass as this was the day she was going to start training, and maybe we'd somewhat wake up, but with the minute he'd turn over and would try and go back to sleep. As her mum would knock on the door, she would go, 5 more minutes. No, Ruby. Time to get up. But I want 4 more minutes, Mum. No. Or, fine, if you want 5 more minutes, then I won't be training you into becoming a ninja. She immediately jolt out of bed and slammed the door open. I forgot what today was. Today I start my training to become a ninja. Yes. Can we just chuck on and go, not going to be training in that. Sweetie. We would look down and we'd blush and go, right, get changed first. So I can get changed and, brush your teeth and that. And then we'll have breakfast. And then we'll start training. She'd nod and she'd go off and get changed into some, comfortable clothing that she could move can move quite freely, and as she didn't know really what her mum would have in store for her. Kurama would more so would get would do chakra control exercises, even not really chakra control exercises. Kids from around the age of 4 had pretty much started working on their chakra control, and she'd started Naruto in that had started Ruby at the age of 3. 3. A year ahead of everyone due to the fact that Ruby being a four-tier kitchen, but also having the same density chakra as her own chakra had somewhat warranted her to start training, started at least chakra control training early, because she knew it would be quite hard for her to complete the chakra control exercises, she did struggle with them, but she did manage to complete them eventually when she turned around 6 years old. She'd completed the last chakra control exercise. Her chakra was just dense. And of course with that control, her chakra had gotten even more denser. So pretty much, it's insanely dense already. And and anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this new what if, tell me in the comments down below. If you want a next part, tell me in the comments. And I don't mind. Though this is more so just a kind of stopgap what if. But guys, anyway, as I said before, tell me in the comments down below if you want a part 2 to this, and also part 10 will hopefully be coming Friday. If it doesn't, it will be out either Saturday, Sunday or Monday. I will try and get it out as soon as possible, though remember that part 10 is a 4-hour plus long video, so it is going to take at least a bit of time for me to record. So guys, anyway, stay safe, have a good day or night depending on where you are and depending on when you're watching this, and hey, good bye.